Ever wondered how game enemies go from lifeless bots into clever hunters? Today I'm pulling back the curtain on the AI magic that makes them act. Watch as I transform these robots into relentless foes that patrol, chase, shoot and even die. Get ready, because by the end of this devlog you will see just how smart and dangerous these enemies have become. Hey everyone, welcome back to the fourth devlog for my robot shooter game. In the last episode we got the reloading, weapon switching system, pretty cool stuff that made the combat feel smooth and dynamic. If you haven't seen it yet, there's a link in the description. Today though, we are diving into something even more exciting. The brains of our enemies. These aren't just lifeless targets, they are going to hunt you down, react to your moves and maybe even make you sweaty. Let's get started. So, what makes enemies in game feel alive? It's all about the AI, the artificial intelligence, that drives their actions. In Unreal Engine, which I'm using for this project, AI is built around three main components: the AI controller, behavior trees, and the Blackboard. The AI controller is like the enemy's brain. It's the part that tells the enemy's body what to do, whether that's a moving, attacking, or just standing there. The behavior tree is decision-making system. It's a flow chart that says, if happens this, do that. The Blackboard is where we store all the info the AI needs, like attacking target, state, attack radius, defend radius, point of interest. Together, these pieces create enemies that don't just sit around waiting to be shot, they actively respond to what's happening in the game. And trust me, setting this up was both challenging and fun. Let's start with the AI controller. This is the glue. I have C++ class with this. It connects the Blackboard and behavior trees and initialize Blackboard on possess. In blueprints, it's running the behavior tree and sets state as passive, so you states a bit later. Also, we getting the attacking and defend radius and setting these values into the Blackboard. Also, it checks the perception updates. It's the enemy can see me, hear me, or feel damage. Next, it's Blackboard, which is basically the enemy's memory. I added few variables to keep track of what's going on, like self vector, attack target, so enemy knows who he's going to attack. State, it's enum, which means we can use only one of few options here. In AI state, we have passive, attacking, frozen, investigating, and that. Point of interest is point in the world the enemy want to move, attack radius and defend radius. These variables are what the behavior tree uses to decide what the enemy should do. For instance, if in the behavior tree here, in the decorator, the Blackboard key state is equal to attacking, we are going into combat state and proceed with this logic. The behavior tree is where the real actions happens. This is the logic that controls how the enemy behaves. Here's the basic setup I've got. Behavior tree enemy base. We have passive state, which is patrol or passive state. It's sub-tree. If we go there, we will see this logic. So if enemy has a patrol road, the enemy gonna patrol. And if enemy doesn't have patrol road, he just going into idle state. We just waiting. If the state is investigating, the enemy going to investigate. Here is the sub-tree for this. Setting movement speed. Jogging, it's a bit faster than walking, but not so fast as sprinting. Then the enemy moves to point of interest, waits there, and going back to passive state. And finally, combat state. In this case, we have different logic for melee and ranged enemies. Melee enemy is going to chase player, he's noticing player, focusing player, wait a bit, then clear focus so he can turn into the direction the enemy moves. Then he attacking, he's starting to sprint, moves to ideal range to attack the hero, focusing the hero for attacking, then clears focus and attacks. Then we have cooldown and enemy going to strafe. He's strafing around the hero, but not too far or not too close. It's like for dodging hero's attacks. And how the enemy know where to move, we using AQS system. I will talk about this a bit later. Also, I have here find cover task, but I don't use it yet. It's like to hide from hero. And the behavior tree ranged enemies. These two things we have the same, passive and investigating, but in combat state we have verifying if we have ammo, and if we don't have ammo we're going to point of interest, which uses EQS system find cover, so we are hiding or reloading, for example. But if we have, I mean enemy has ammo and enemy see target, the enemy going to evade and attack. In other case, the enemy moves to line of sight. It's a simple loop, but it works like a charm. The behavior tree checks the Blackboard every frame, so the enemy is always reacting to the latest info. It's time to show how it works. Actually, we have 3 enemies here, and if I go close enough for the enemy, he see me, we can see it in the upper left corner, the text sensed sight, sense hearing and sense damage, so we know when the enemy actually sensed us. If I will hide the enemy going to the position he can see me. And now we shooting. We will got all the enemies. Oh, they killed me. And when I have all 3 enemies trying to kill me, it's not so easy to hide from them. They are moving from different directions. I can't actually find a safe spot. They are everywhere. For example, I can try to hide here. And as we see, one enemy going straight on the left side, the other already in the right side, and they have a crossfire on me, so I have to move, but right there is the 3rd enemy and he kills me. And here is the melee enemy. He see me, he trying to attack, I dodged it. He attacks again, he hit me, he trying to strafe from me after hitting. He hits, strafing, and he is attacking again. And I got hit. I'm trying to shoot him, but he killed me. By the way, for enemies I choose these beautiful assets, Paragon minions. I can use these minions as enemies. There is a bunch of different characters, which is looking great for this game. For now there is only this type of enemies, like ranged and melee, but of course I will extend the variety of enemies. It's sleek, menacing and perfect for a basic enemy. So for now, this guy is my guinea pig. I hooked up the basic idle animation, so enemy looks alive, and the sprinting animation, which based on the speed of the enemy. I used blend space for this in the animation blueprint. Also I use hit slot and attack slot from montages. So when enemy get hit, we can see how it going to react. It reacts from different directions. Left, right, back and front. Oh, he died. And front. I also added a reaction from different directions for the main character. Oh, he died. To make the enemy aware of the player, I integrated Unreal's AI perception system. This is what gives enemies their senses, sight and hearing, feel damage. Here's how I set it up. Have AI sight config, AI hearing config, AI damage sense config, and inside of this we can adjust the angle of seeing and the radius, and we have functions like handle sensed sight. We can here, for example, get current state and set state as attacking, which is setting this into the Blackboard, and as we saw in the behavior tree, when we getting into the attacking state, we're going to combat state and tasks. Also we have here handle sense sound, which is going to set state as investigating. It's a bit different than attacking. We're going to point of interest to investigate what enemy heard. And bunch of another functions like get current state, can sense actor, and handle sense damage, and so on. I can turn on the debug mode and I can see the perceptions of enemies. And here is actually hearing range. For example, I can make sound here, but if I will make sound here, they send me and going to attack. So the green border is if the enemy can see me. Here the enemy cannot see me, but if I will cross this green line, the enemy is going to see me. Yes, he saw me and he going to attack me. I am hiding. The green thing in the floor, it's the AI navigation system, nav mesh. It's used so the AI know he can go through or he cannot. And if I will stay like here, the enemy going to attack me. Let's try a bit different thing. What if the enemy will hear me but don't see? He should go to investigate the place where there was sound, and here we are. The enemy checking what is going on there. The enemy don't have the patrol point. Let's check this. I have patrol road and I can assign the patrol road for the enemy. Save and check. And the enemy is patrolling now. And when he will be here, I will try to make a noise again. Okay. I made a sound and hide. And the enemy went back to patrolling. Of course, I will extend the radiuses of hearing, seeing, and so on. But it's only for testing purpose for now. So the enemy can spot the player within a certain range and angle, like a cone in front of its face. If the player make noise, like firing a gun, the enemy picks up on it and reacts. When the perception system detects something, it updates the Blackboard. And when the Blackboard is updated, the behavior tree is going to another branch and the actions are executed. Even at this basic stage, the enemy feels alive. It's not perfect yet. Animations are not done. The strafing needs rework and the logic at all, but it all works and it needs just adjustments. So we have a solid foundation to build on. And here is the melee attack animation montage. We have weapon swing sound when enemy attacking, and we have activate right weapon and deactivate right or left weapon depending on the animation. It's done for activating or deactivating the box for overlap events. Here is the functions for those notify, activating and deactivating weapons. It's just setting collision or no collision or query only, and when the collision activated we can overlap. We verifying if this is character, and if it is, we doing damage and spawn particles, and we playing the sound of hit. Let me demonstrate. Enemy is attacking and we see particles and the sound of hit. And again, the particle spawns in the place where the sword overlaps with the character, exactly at that moment. And he killed me. And if I will try to dodge, we will see that there is no particles, overlap doesn't happen. By the way, I reused the weapons I made for the main character before, and the enemy actually can use the same weapons. default weapon class, and I can choose any weapon I want. For example, SMG, the first enemy, and grenade launcher for another enemy. And here we are, we have an enemy with grenade launcher, which is trying to destroy me. And the other enemy with SMG in his hand. Let's check. Okay. Stop. Yeah. What's with my character? To make enemies even smarter, I added EQS system, the environment query system. This lets the AI scan the level and pick the smart spots. For example, strafe. There is a set of rules, and based on these rules, the enemy can select a spot. And when enemy dies, it going into ragdoll. And this enemy even will throw weapons. A shot from the side causes them to fall over in that direction. Near the edge, for example, they may fall off, so it's feel real. From my point of view, when each kill looks differently, it's way more satisfying than canned animation. Also, as you saw, enemies shoot with sequence shooting, and instead of perfect aim or constant spraying, they fire short bursts, 3 or 4, then pause. I added a bit of scatter, so they are not pinpoint accurate, especially at range. It's more lifelike, and it gives you a chance to dodge. In game's lore, they are not perfect robots after all. I also fixed finally the things when you going to crunch, the camera is going down with the character. And that's where we are at. From basic patrols to enemies that see, hear, fight and even miss their shots. The AIs come a long way, it's making the game feels alive, and I'm glad to keep building on it. Next up, I'm thinking more enemy types, plus there's a ton more to do with player and the world itself. What do you want to see in the next video? Drop your ideas in the comments, I would love to hear them. Thanks for watching, if you enjoyed, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next devlog. See you soon.
Okay, let's go.